Hello, Maurieo Vlogs number 232, Jumpers. Hello, welcome. Well, there's been a bit of a change here. I've pulled out the Osmo, so I've actually had to do a bit of editing to put a little thing together. So yes, I have a real understanding of those people that edit and render and produce their videos. Whoa! There goes one of the jumpers, and the next one's here. When it gets hot in Narawahia, everybody heads down to the point, to the river, for a bit of swimming and bridge jumping. Now there's actually two bridges there. The one in the foreground is the railway bridge. It used to have that sort of trestle all the way through, but a bit of an accident ripped it out and was replaced with the beam. So the young guys go down there and jump off the bridge. Now I was just down there for half an hour, and then the jet skis started up, and they started moving along the river. This is the Waikato River that they're on here at the moment, and they're just doing what jet skiers do. I think they go up here and then try and hop over each other's wake and what have you to create a little bit of an unlevel playing surface or what have you. It seems like a lot of fun, and yeah, they ripping out there. I can't. They're not too noisy. That's pretty good. Although I noticed at one point the wake that they created, the ducks sort of bobbed up and down a little bit. But yeah, as I say, a beautiful day brings them out, and there's the ducks. So you can always come down to what we call the point, which is the confluence of the Waikato River there, as you can see here, and a gentleman out there throwing a tennis ball into the river for his dog to retrieve, and another jumper. Oh, it's all happening down at the point in Narawahia. Whoa, there goes another one. And they do have a little bit of trouble when the trains come. Just after I got home, I heard the train tooting, which tells them to sort of get off the line. And then the jet skiers are still out there. There's the ducks, woo, going up and down. So it's time for me to sort of start to head home. So I'm heading back up to my famous RAV4, the little black RAV4 that you can see up there under the trees there. And in the background there, the Hakramata Ranges. The Waipa River comes in through on the left-hand side and joins the Waikato at this point. And there's the ducks have sort of had enough. They've got out of the... Oh, those ones have. Mrs. Mallard just discussing the jet skis, you know, noisy, muck up the neighbourhood. So they're stomping off home, and I'm heading up towards me RAV there, the black RAV4. Just under the trees there you can see, and that's when I decide, well, perhaps we should have a bit of a better look around. So I'm out there with my Osmo. Not too bad considering I've got a bit of a limp and I shake. I think that's pretty good. So I've decided that I'll head over to the band rotunda. Now that little, or we call it a waka or canoe, that's like a notice board. And in the background you can see a round thing. That's a off a gunship that used to come up the river, and the soldiers sat inside those little slit things there in that turret and fired out at the enemy. So here she is, the band rotunda. I don't think I've ever seen a band playing there, but the benchmark, the Narawahia Fundamental, is there on the right hand side, and I had intended to go around and show you that, but sort of slipped my mind. So you can, looking down the Waikato with the Waipa River there on your left hand side, and that's where the two join together. So I'm going to climb up the steps of the band rotunda and just have a look down the river and do a bit of a panorama. So here I am sort of walking up, and you can see there's quite a few people. You see it's a spot, I don't know whose Ugg boots those are there, but you'll see there's a couple of Freedom campers off there on the right hand side. One of them's got a big solar panel out and charging up the batteries. So that's looking up the Waipa River with the Hakramata Hills in the background. There's a little bit of a wharf there, another swimming spot there, and then as you move around looking down the Waikato as it comes around the bend and the two join, and then just moving around and now looking up the Waikato here again, the Waikato River, and these two guys, you can see the Black Raven behind that, the Freedom camper, a couple of solar panels, public convenience there, and yeah, so that brings us to the end of the little pictures there. Let's have a look at another background, and here's today's background. So when the days get hot in Narrawahia, the jumpers come out. So I want you to tell me who is the guy in the middle there, the winner, who he is, number 262, who he is, and his relationship to today's theme of jumpers, and he's a very special in his chosen field, and I can tell you that he was born in 1947, and the picture there is at the Olympic Games, so that might give you a few dates and things to work with. So yeah, might be on the harder side of easy, this one, but yeah, see if you can work out who the guy in the middle is, number 262. Now let's go to yesterday's theme or background. Well, the theme was Sticky Tar Day, and what I've shown here is quite a famous, there's a few of them around, but this one is from Queensland, Australia. And this is a pitch experiment. So the pitch is tar, sort of, more or less. It's pure tar, I gather. So they put the tar into a funnel there, and it does drip, but it takes about 10 years for one of the drops to form and fall off. And so they managed to sort of map it and graph it so that they can look at the viscosity of pitch. So that's the pitch experiment there, and WT got that one pretty smartly, so that one wasn't too difficult. So yeah, I'm going to end today's video here, because if I go back if I go back to here, I'll start the old video again. Well, that might not be such a bad thing. I have to say that trying to put the video in, I first of all had to edit it, and then I've had some real trouble rendering it, and then getting it to play in my OBS software. I did have a 4K version, but it just slowed the software down too much. So this is a 1080p version here, and it's probably okay, or maybe a bit grainy. So anyway, something a little bit different for you, and it's such a pleasure to show you around my hometown where I live at the moment, and some of the aspects of it, and just enjoy the beauty of it all, which some of us tend to take for granted. So yeah, all good. Cheers. See you.